Chapter 4. Maria froze, forcing Cruz to stop. You mean the crazy man? Cruz side-shuffled and danced past her. I mean the greatest hitter of the last 50 years. I mean the guy who holds the records for the most home runs in 1 month, the most stolen bases by an outfielder, and the most consecutive base hits ever. The guy who went 19 for 19 in his last 19 at-bats before he walked away in a cloud of mystery. No, you got it wrong, said Will, who used his bulk and his height to shoulder up against Cruz. You mean the guy who walked away from the World Series and left baseball in a cloud of disgrace. Cruz shrugged and kept going. The others clustered around him like so many moons. Well, maybe. Who really knows? That's the thing. Could have been a lot of reasons for why he did what he did. Will bent forward, shaking his jowls. You got that wrong, too. My dad knows. Everyone who saw him come back to the town knows. He got so hyped up and burnt out on drugs or something that he just gave up. Besides, said Maria, you can't go see him. He lives in a fortress, and he's got guard dogs all around the place. And electric fences, said Cody. One kid went up there and got too close and got electrocuted, fried his skin right off. The dogs ate him up before anybody could ever find the body. Tom listened, but could not say a word. Cruz had thought the unthinkable, spoke the unspeakable in a strange way. The idea fascinated Tom, but at the same time it made his stomach feel like a rodeo ring with broncos bucking left and right. Imagine somebody visiting Delgado? Tara dropped the lead rope and narrowed her eyes. People say Delgado only comes at night and runs with a pack of bloodthirsty mountain lions. That's why no one ever sees him. Cruz nodded. I know. He rubbed Screwball around the neck. I mean, I know there's all kinds of stories about the guy, but 19 straight hits and 19 straight at-bats? Only 2 or 3 guys have ever done half that good, and he lives just a few miles away, right? A few miles uphill on White Fang Peak. Cruz squinted into the east. Well, sounds like he could use a visitor. Cruz caught Tom's eye. Or 2. After the break, everyone gathered at the baseball diamond. Before we get started today, I want each of you to grab a rake or a shovel or a wheelbarrow, and let's get this field into playable condition. We need to remove all the weeds and the rocks and level out those gopher mounds. Maria slumped against Rachel. I can't believe I'm paying money for the honor of scraping weeds with a dried-out baseball field. But it has to look good. A great field for a great team. The words he said even surprised him. 2 hours ago, he never would have said something like that. But in 2 hours' time, a lot had changed. For the next couple of hours, the campers pulled and raked up weeds, dug out half-buried rocks, and then smoothed them over the rough edges with their work. Section by section, they cleared the field. Ramon and Frankie put together a makeshift drag, using old pieces of carpet wired together and weighed down with rocks and bricks. Maria found a length of rope and harnessed both boys to drag like donkeys to a cart. Once a section had been cleared, they dragged the carpet back and forth over it to smooth out the dirt. Clifford and Cruz worked on the weeds and rock piles, loading up wheelbarrow after load, rolling them into the iron gate, and then dumping them beyond the wall. Every once in a while, Maria would stand up straight, survey the progress. She'd set her jaw, and then she'd force her top lip over her teeth, curl her tongue, and whistle. Loud as a hawk screech. Made Tom jump, but Cruz would just look up from wherever he was, and Maria would wave over another pile, like a third base coach signaling and charging a runner to head the plate. Mid-afternoon, the field was ready to play. As a final touch, Rachel and Cody had opened up the water hoses on it, and the dusty dirt turned into a rich brown. The infield glistened in the light. And even though the players were dead tired, they all stepped down into the sunken dugout, with its cool stone walls and pine log roof, and changed into their cleats. Some picked a partner and began to play catch. Others walked by themselves to swing a bat. As Tom and Frankie threw the ball back and forth, Cruz stood nearby, facing the outfield and swinging his light brown wooden bat. Is that a maple bat? Asked Frankie. Sure is. Cruz swiveled it toward him. You like it? Yeah, it's great. I made it myself. What? You did? Frankie stopped throwing, and he and Tom walked over to inspect it. Wow, that's really cool. Cruz pointed to the bat barrel. See that grain? Closer than ashwood, and the maple's lighter. I think it gives the bat a springier sweet spot. Tom knew about maple bats. Doc had made him one a couple of years ago, but it felt too small for him now. Can I try swinging it? Sure, Cruz Cruz passed him the smooth, warm bat. But after only one swing, Mr. Gallagher yelled, "Okay, everybody, over here!" He stood up by a group of batting stations around home plate. Time left for one good drill. No such thing as a good drill. I think you'll like this. It's on the science of hitting, especially the science of home run hitting. Frankie slipped the bat from Tom's hands. Now that's the kind of science I like. He stepped away and swung a few times as they walked. Mrs. Gallagher read off names and everyone was paired up with a partner. 5 batting tees, which looked like black rubber ice cream cones with baseballs on top, stood in front of the backstop. Maria was still not impressed. "I thought we were going to have batting practice. What are the tees for?" "That's where we'll start. First, I want to demonstrate this scientific principle beyond smacking the baseball as far as you can. It's a simple matter of physics." "Physics?" Suddenly Ramon popped up. No, said Will. "You mean physiques." And he flexed his arm muscles and looked around all puffy-faced. "No, I don't. I mean the interaction between matter," he held up a ball, "and energy." He held up the bat. "As a hitter, you have to transfer as much energy as possible from your bat to the ball. How far the ball flies determines how heavy your bat is and how fast you swing." Now, it was Frankie who was not impressed. "We kind of already know that, Mr. G." "Yeah," said Will. "That's why I use the biggest bat I can find." Mr. Gallagher held a finger aloft. "Ah, but you see, that's the mistake. What you want, Will, is to use the fastest bat you can find. It's been proven that increasing your bat speed is more important than using a heavier bat. Anybody know why?" "Oh, Dad, no!" Tom thought. Frankie was joking. This isn't really a science class. Tom could see that no one even wanted to make a guess. Finally, Cruz raised his hand. "Well, I don't know. Seems to me that a big, heavy bat would just slow down your swing so the ball would sort of plop off and not go very far." Mr. Gallagher snapped his fingers. "Exactly!" "Wait, I don't get it." Frankie rubbed his neck. "What if you already have a fast swing and you get a heavier bat? Even if your swing slows down a little, I think the ball would still go farther with the heavier bat." That's what a lot of hitters think. Big mistake. And there's scientific research to prove what I'm saying. Does anybody know why? "I do," said Ramon. "I know why." "Oh, you would," said Maria. "Okay, El Professor, let's hear it." Ramon shrugged. "It's easy. When you hit the ball, you transfer energy to it, right? Well, the amount of energy you transfer is equal to the weight of the bat multiplied by the speed of the bat squared, all divided by 2. "Oh, right," shouted Will with a loud hoot. The others laughed too, knocked shoulders, and shuffled around. "Talk English," said Clifford. "Talk Spanish," said Frankie. Ramon looked irritated. "No, really, you guys, it's true. It's a simple formula, just like Einstein. You know, E equals mc squared. Only in this case, the bat speed gets squared, not the speed of light. But in both cases, the speed has more value than the weight of the bat. That's why the speed is more important." "You gotta be kidding." Will swung an imaginary bat as his lips blasted apart with air. "Einstein? Come on, what team did he play on?" Ramon only shrugged. "Take it or leave it. But the formula for why a nuclear bomb explodes is directly related to the formula of how far you can blast a baseball with a bat. It's just that in this formula, we substitute the velocity for the bat with the speed of light." "That's what I've been trying to tell you," said Mr. Gallagher. "It's physics." "Whoa," said Maria. "It's getting serious." "Yo, Einstein," said Frankie. "You mean you could use this bat speed squared thing to teach me how to hit home runs?" "Now you're talking," said Cody. Ramon grinned. "You wish. Look, Mr. G already told you the secret. Speed up your bat. I only told you the reason why." "Precisely." Mr. Gallagher snapped up a ball and shook it. "And now we're going to begin a drill that's aimed at doing just that." Mrs. Gallagher set up 3 stacks of bats against the backstop. From lightweight to heavy, she also set out a pile of batting weights. "I want each group to take 1 weight out of each pile." As his father spoke, Tom had a strange sensation. He thought he could hear the faint sound of drumming from somewhere over the hilltop. "Every batting station," said Mr. Gallagher, "has 10 soft-skin practice balls. Each hitter will take 10 swings working down from the heaviest bat to the lightest. Then you'll trade places. Any questions?" Tom looked up. Other players began to notice too and turned to listen. In the silence, the drumming became louder and louder. Boom lay, boom lay, boom, boom, boom. What is that? Asked Cody, and the sound grew louder.